Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today I'm going to talk about Return to Devil's End, which of course is kind of the unofficial, I won't say making of, but an unofficial revisit to the place where they did the location work for the Daemons in Season 8 of Doctor Who. And this of course was filmed during the Wilderness years, even though it was released I believe in 97, it was filmed in like 92 or 93. So it does have John Pertwee in it, and you have a lot of the people who were involved in the production of the Daemons who were there. Richard Franklin, John Levine, Nicholas Courtney, Christopher Barry is there as well, and of course Nicholas Briggs is the presenter, who of course is a big name in Doctor Who, especially now. I enjoyed this. I've seen the making of that's on the Season 8 box set, which is also really good, but it was nice to see this one. I'd wanted to see Return to Devil's End for a long time, because I absolutely love the location work for the Daemons. It's one of the best part of the Daemons. And despite, me knocking the Daemons sometimes, it is a great story and I do enjoy it. And I love the location work. It's such a wonderful little village. So it was fun to watch them go back, and kind of have I think they spent like 2 days filming there, to kind of go back and revisit memories, which, at the time for them, the story was filmed 20 years before, because again, this was recorded in the early 90s. And to hear their thoughts on it. It's especially nice to see that, because by the time we got the one on the Season 8 box set, so many people involved had passed away. Of course, Christopher Barry has passed away, John Pertwee's passed away, Nicholas Courtney has passed away. And I know Richard is not in the best of health. I think he doesn't even do content appearances anymore. I know he had surgery either last year or the year before, so I know he doesn't get out much anymore. And most of the one here on the Season 8 box set was John Levine and Katie Manning. It's still a great making of, and I enjoyed it very much. And that's really the only thing missing from Return to Devil's End is Katie. I really wish they would have had Katie there. But other than that, it's really nice. It's fun just watching them talk about it, because they seem like they're having such a good time. It really does have this feel of a bunch of old friends getting together and chatting about old times, chatting about the story. People who you can tell do get on really well in real life and have those all those little inside jokes together and that camaraderie together that friends have. And just listening to them poke fun at each other and needle each other, it's so much fun. Like John Levine's over there, 3 rounds rapid, and the Brigadier's like, it's 5 rounds rapid. You're always underestimating me. And then he accidentally says it again later, John Levine with 3 round rapid, and Nicholas Courtney's like, it's 5 rounds rapid. Just listening to them poke fun at each other. They love poking fun at poor John Levine. It's absolutely hilarious. And John just laughs about it. It's funny. And like John Levine is talking one time while him and Richard are being interviewed, while Nicholas is being interviewed right over here, and John's like, pipe down over there, Sergeant Benton. And of course Levine's like, aye, Brigadier. And then they're laughing about, that's the secret, we're using a 2-camera crew. It really does seem like a group of people not taking themselves too seriously. They're just having fun with it. Like, the Season 8 one has a more theatrical presentation to it. It's really nice, got some beautiful drone shots, some beautiful music. Even though the people there still look like they're having a good time. I mean, Katie Manning always looks like she's having a good time. I firmly believe no matter what Katie's doing, Katie's having a good time. That's just Katie. But it has a more professional approach to it, whereas Returns to the Devil's End just seems like a bunch of friends who get together and are chatting and having a good time. They just happen to have a couple blokes following them with cameras while they talk about old times. And it's nice hearing all the little things you wouldn't hear about. You hear about listening to John Pertwee talk about Roger Delgado, and he's like, and it's interesting how he could play a character like the Master, because he talks about how, Roger was always a very nervous man. He was scared of his own shadow, and we know Roger had a huge fear of water. That's why I've always had a huge respect for him filming those scenes at the end of the Sea Devils where they have to be in the water, because Roger was deathly afraid of large bodies of water. But he went and filmed it anyway, because he's just that much of a good actor and dedicated to his craft. So John talking about how such a good actor he was, when he had that face and that voice, and that when he just stepped into the role, he just stepped into the role. And that was fascinating. I love listening to John Pertwee talk about how much he loved filming on location, and then you go back to studio, and he talks about how he didn't like filming in studio. It's why one of the reasons he liked Wazzle Gummidge, Wazzle Gummidge, is that how you say it? because, you know, they were always on the go. They were always filming, like, I'm guessing on location. I've never actually watched it. I'm just aware of it on location. I know how much John loved that role. Matter of fact, there's a spot when John first runs into Christopher. Christopher's doing the impersonation of a signpost. And John's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm pretending to be Walsall Gummidge. It's pretty funny. Listening to Christopher Barry talk about, you know, how he set up shots and what he was doing and everything involved in his part of the story is always fascinating to listen to. It's really neat to have something like Return to Devil's End, because by the time we got the official one here on the box set, again, so many people involved had passed, including Christopher. So it's nice that we have their thoughts on the story, and John Pertwee's and Nicholas Courtney's, their thoughts on it is really fun. Listening to them talk about how much they enjoyed making the story. You know, watching them recount stories and, again, little jokes and stuff from it. I can't remember all of it. I wish I could tell you all of them, but there were so many times they were doing little things that gave me a chuckle and ribbing each other and poking fun at each other and not taking themselves too seriously, just having a fun time while, you know, talking about their memories of filming the location work here for the Daemons. And it was a lot of fun. It was a really good watch. It's about 55 minutes, just under an hour. You know, watching them, like when they're talking about, John Levine's talking about how they were filming some of the shots in the helicopter where it looks like they're flying and how they would actually film that on the ground with just the propellers turning. And John Levine talks about one time he actually pulled back on the stick slightly and the helicopter moved and a lot of other people were standing under it and it could have been really bad. And he goes, and Pertwee saw me and he pointed at me. He's like, don't touch that again. Little things like that. It's fun to hear stuff like that. I remember, not in this video, in another one, I can't remember if it was Katie that was talking about it maybe, but apparently Nicholas Courtney was driving Betsy and he shifted it wrong, like he shifted gears and it made a bad sound. And he made the mistake of telling John about it, and John Pertwee. John wanted to strangle him. John about strangled him. You know, when you hear those little stories, and it's told in a humorous way that gives you a good laugh. And that's really what Return to Devil's End is. It's just, again, it's very off the cuff. Just some friends getting together with a couple of guys with cameras following, talking about it. And again, I like both of them. I like the season 8 one as well. It's just neat how they're two different types of stories about this location, and yet they're both entertaining to watch in different ways. And I like that. It was a lot of fun. Have you seen Return to Devil's End? And let me know what you think of it. Which one? Do you have a preference for which one you like, or do you just like both? Comment down below and let me know. I had a lot of fun watching the video. I really, really enjoyed it. I always love seeing behind the scenes stuff with John Pertwee too. He's just such a joy to listen to. So comment down below and let me know your thoughts on it. Other things to do, don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button and the bell for notifications. That does help me out. I am trying to reach 1,000 subscribers this year. That is my goal in 2023. I'm at well over 900 now, so we're on our way. I certainly appreciate each and every one of you. I also have a Patreon. If you would like to support me that way, that does help me keep the bills paid. And my entry tier level is only $2 a month. I want to give a shout out to some of my top tier patrons, Stephen Crane, Colin Coney, and Finn Perkins. I do appreciate their support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. I also have a P.O. box. If there's anything you would like to send me to look at and review, I have a link to my Amazon wish list down there as well. A couple stories I've only seen once and not in a long time I put on there recently. Most importantly though, thank you for watching.